whenever you are ready. Good evening, good day, hello, good morning. Hi, you guys. I'm Mary White, and I'm really thanking Trey and the Academy for letting me cook with you guys today. Um, I want to show you, I always want to show you things that are easy to use and are customizable, right? I always talk about effortless edibles, edibles you can maybe add to what you're eating or take with you or something like that, because you don't want to medicate the whole damn meatloaf. And Edna might not want that. And Trey is going to need all the meatloaf. What I'm talking about is little things, okay? Stuff you can add, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, vinaigrette, that kind of thing, right? So tonight, I want to show you guys two ways to use ricotta. We were talking about earlier, is it ricotta? Is it ricotta? It's ricotta. Anyway, so ricotta is one of those lovely sort of neutral bases, okay? And all you got to do really is kind of whip it up a little bit and then add things to it. Again, I love this because you can do it any way you want. If the evening is, let's say, more Italian themed, you can use Italian spices and things like that in your ricotta. For the dessert one, if you don't want, today I'm using cherries and blueberries, but if you just want to put it on maybe some grilled peaches, oh, with some almonds on top, shut up. Point is, these things you can make them the way you want them, right? You can make the dosage the way you want it, and then you can like take it to the family picnic and put it on your own damn hamburger or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so with that, I want to show you this really cool ricotta thing. And again, you guys, when I'm showing you something, it's more of a method than an exact recipe, because we're not baking, okay? When you're baking, you have to like measure. But this is much more free form. Like with this, if I didn't have this beautiful basil that Trey brought, I could just use the rosemary. Or maybe if we're doing a more of a French meal, maybe there's fish involved, maybe it's light, maybe tarragon would be good in there. So play with your food is what I'm saying. Okay, so this is what we're going to do first. I want to put half of the ricotta in the savory bowl. Now, in the savory bowl, we have 1 beautiful tablespoon of infused butter. This is going to give you about 50 milligrams for the whole thing, okay? So the way I figured it the other day is a teaspoon is going to give you anywhere from 1 to 2 milligrams. So this isn't about getting blasted or anything like that. This is not what this is about. This is almost like microdosing, really, right? And a lot of people, you can't afford to be high at work or during the day, but you need a little bit of medication. This is a way to go. A couple of milligrams on your sandwich, it's not going to, make you drool, but maybe it's going to help with the pain or with the focus. You know what I'm saying? So half of the ricotta, okay? Look at it, it's like bleh. It's like what my butt looks like if I don't exercise. Oh, I said that out loud, sorry. And this is a little watery, but again, the great thing about this stuff is it's customizable. I'm kind of sick of that word though. I know a lot of people use it frequently, customizable. Now, the reason I'm using this whipped cream cheese in here is because it's going to give a little more oomph, a little more solidity, okay? A little of that in there. I was making it, I don't know if you heard it earlier, but I was frying up these capers. Now, fried capers, you guys, are one of those really, really cool things. If you want your cooking to be more interesting and just better, think about one more thing you could do. One more thing. Maybe it's just some minced basil. Maybe it's some fried capers. Maybe it's the caper oil in your salad. You know what I mean? But just one more thing can make it so much more interesting. Now these are going to give a nice little salty, right, to the thing. And I'll tell you guys, back in the hippie days, none of y'all were around, but I was. It was primitive a lot of times, and a lot of times you just put the damn pot in the whatever and just eat it, right? We don't have to do that anymore. Okay, you can be a little schmancy. It's okay because we're all grown up now, and good food is always more appealing than bad food, right? I know that's real deep, but it's true. So already I've got in here salt, some red pepper flakes, okay? We've got the little caper guys. So I think we need some more. Now, if you were doing this and making a salad, this oil would be great on a salad. But of course, my salads, I like a little infused olive oil. There, so I got the capers in there. Now, I'm gonna lay some French on you because we're cooking, okay? First of all, when everything is ready to go, laid out, you got everything, that's your mise en place, okay? Mise en place, stuff in place. And you know, when you have people over for a party, you can be, oh, hang on, you guys, let me just check my knees. That way you're cool. But it's also a really good way to just handle your cooking so it's not confusing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a chiffonade of basil in this ricotta. And a chiffonade is just some leaves, and it could be like sage or mint. That is really smelling good, Trey. Really nice basil. But roll it up from the little bottom, okay? Stack them up and then roll it like a teeny tiny cigar. Everyone says that. I call it a blunt for elves. That's a good way to look at it. And then just make really, really thin knife cuts with your super sharp knife because you're cool like that, right? But see, then you get ribbons. You get little ribbons, and they're really fun to play with. What else goes in here? Okay, we got ricotta, we got butter, we got basil, we got, oh, rosemary. Now, rosemary is a totally different situation because it's tough. It's, you know, like pine needles. It's full of pinene, one of our favorite terpenes. So just do like this. You don't need a lot of it because it can really go towards, you know, the forest. And we don't really want that. We just want people to know, oh, this is delicious. You will find a lot of the stuff in my recipes, they have a lot of spices in them. Like if there's cinnamon, there'll be a lot of cinnamon. And like with this, there's kind of a lot of stuff in here, but you won't taste the cannabis. And not that cannabis is a bad flavor necessarily, but that that vegetal flavor, that chlorophyll, is not always delicious. Now, this is how simple this is, okay? Earlier today, I whipped up some crostini, little toasts. Don't you like saying toasts? I just love that, it's so cute. So we got these toasts, right? And this is all you're gonna do. First of all, you don't want just like goo on toast, because that's boring, right? That'll be boring. But how about if we had some crunch with beautiful little radishes? If you have a mandolin, a slicer thingy, it's really fun to do these this way, but I didn't want to haul it out. So this is how you do it. Take a lovely spoonful of your infused ricotta. See, you guys, this isn't hardly that much, right? But think of it like you're having an infused dinner party, yeah? And people come over and you're like, oh, here, darling, have one of these. And wait. You got to put the green on there, right? The green is very important. And there, look at that. And can you see you're having your people over and everyone's having one or two of these, no big deal, right? They're not going to drool, they're not going to barf, they're not going to be all messed up. It's just enough to kind of get you going for the evening. Now, Trey's responsibility is to eat all of this, by the way, so wish him luck. Okay, so that's the savory application. See how that makes sense? And again, you know, earlier how I said it's really great to have one more thing, okay? When you are cooking, and I don't want this to be a big problem, but just, you know, kind of get it in your head, that texture is super important as well. This is soft, right? Crunchy, more crunchy, soft. You've got salty, you've got a little bit of umami from the toast, you've got bitter, you've got sharp, a lot of flavors, pretty much everything except sweet, right? So this is gonna be delicious. And if I wasn't so vain and I didn't want to mess up my lipstick, I'd take a demo bite, but I'm not gonna do that. You know what else I was thinking about earlier today though? Oh, Trey, you're gonna have such a good evening. You could also with this, these are just the smallest little, look at them, little taters. So I call these teeny tiny taters because that's what they are, right? I get mine at Trader Joe's, but they're just small little Yukon Golds. You can boil them in salted water 10, 12 minutes till they're tender. And really, you guys, look, this is again how simple this is. You just put some right in the middle, like that. Lick your finger, that's okay. Don't put it back on the food though. There. And look, here we are again, something delicious. And it's just a little carb, a little creaminess, a little green. But look at that, doesn't that look good? I want to eat it right now, but I'm not going to because I'm a grown up. But I want you guys to get the idea that this kind of thing, do just play with it. Do what you want and see how it tastes. And honestly, you guys, if you want to put, chopped up cherries in your brown rice, I don't care, right? As long as the food you're eating is not processed, as long as it's as close to it used to be as possible, do what you want because life is short and food is delicious. That being said, I'm going to show you the sweet one. The sweet one's really fun. Now this looks like honey, but it is not. It is the glycerin tincture. And my glycerin tincture, I'll show you guys, is this glorious stuff right here. Now this is a 24-hour cook in water. I use a crock pot, some people use a sous vide. But this makes the most beautiful, sweet stuff. And I'm not saying do this, but I'm saying what I do is I put it on my cat's food once a day because in 2017 he was diagnosed with cancer, but he's still here thanks to this. So tincture is our friend. And the glycerin is nice because you can use it in a smoothie. It doesn't have that alcohol back. So it's good to use. Okay, so we got a sweet one going on, yeah? Oh, this is gonna be fun. I love the sweet ones, they're more fun. Okay, so this, oh my goodness. Okay, this stuff got a little bit mushy, but that's okay because we have cream cheese. Also, when you guys make this, make sure that you're not working in an 85-degree kitchen like we are, because it does get kind of soupy, yeah? Okay, so then that goes in. Again, you guys, this is our stabilizer, and I like it because it's easy to work with. Now, what makes this interesting is orange. We're going to do a lot of orange zest in here, as well as some ground ginger, and then brown sugar, of course. A little hint when you guys are using a microplane, you have a microplane, don't you? If you don't have one, get one, because they're just handy as hell. But what you want to do is do it this way, right? That way you can see how much zest you're getting, but you can also see when you're getting into the white. And you don't want to be getting into that white, because it's nasty. It's a methyl cellulose, and it's, it's not bad for you, but it just tastes like you don't want it. So again, we've got a neutral base. We've got this ricotta, yeah, but putting it in the direction we want, which is sweet. This is going to go in little parfait glasses for Trey to take home. Ground ginger. I think the recipe says a teaspoon, so, put some in there like that. Ooh, that's ginger. Can you smell it?
You didn't sneeze. That's.
Ooh, Lordy, that's gingery. And because I love you, I measured the sugar. Normally I wouldn't. But I wanted you to know what was going on here. Okay, now we're just going to do some of this. Here we are. I like the brown sugar because it does give you a more, just more flavor. It's just a little more interesting. And honestly, I'm such a food dork. I feel guilty using white sugar because it's white sugar. Anyway, so there's that. Now, we're chefy, so we always taste, yeah? You don't want to be just throwing stuff around without tasting it because it could suck. Oh, it's really good. Okay, that's good. That's really good. Maybe a little more orange. Ooh, delicious. Okay, now when you guys get this stuff in the fridge, it's going to firm up a little bit too. So don't worry about it being a little soupy. So earlier this morning, I whipped up some streusel. Streusel is one of those things that so simple, so easy. And if you have some laying around, you can again, dress stuff up. We're looking at, that looks nice. You're just looking at flour, butter, sugar, right? A little bit of salt, and in this one I put a little bit of oats. But you just mix them kind of like you're doing a pie dough. Mix it with your fingers, right? Flour, sugar, butter, salt, maybe oats, maybe nuts, whatever you want to do, right? But blend it all together and then just bake it slowly on a sheet pan, maybe 325 for maybe 20 minutes till it's kind of like crumbled cookies. And this is, again, I have to give it to Trey because I have found after these things, if I'm left alone with all this stuff, It gets ugly. I have no self-control. But this is a great way and simple, but people think it's fancy. So all I want to do is you're going to layer now, okay? So we're layering the streusel. Ooh. And then earlier I put together, remember the mise en place, right? So I put together a combination of cherries and blueberries, then a little bit of agave syrup and a little bit of lemon juice. And you often wonder, like, why would you put sweet and sour back into something that's already sweet and kind of sour? You want to magnify those flavors. So the lemon juice makes it bright, and then the sugar makes it like, yeah, delicious. So use some of this like this. But you can see what I'm doing here, right? If it was diced sauteed apples in the fall, pears in the fall, maybe it's apricots and almonds. Oh, wouldn't that be good? But you know, you got to play with it, you guys. Again, I want you to get the method of how to get the cannabis into the food. Now, let me tell you one thing that I did not do, but if you guys have access to plenty of cannabis, and if you don't mind, I'm going to say wasting a little bit of it, you could have made this with can of butter, right? You could have sauteed these in can of butter. It's going to burn off a lot of the cannabinoids, but at the same point, there's going to be some extra in there. So again, another way to do this stuff. So let's add, let me see. Whoops, there. Oh, yeah, doing this. I'm so organized. There we go. And see, that's looking pretty good, right? This needs a little more fruta in this one. Ooh, there. And, oh, look, slotted spoon. That's how smart I am. Okay, I got this though, I got this. There we are. Boom. Oh, yes, please. Oh, look, it's more than, oh, I hope you're ready. You know, I think the reason Trey likes doing this is because he always gets to take home this stuff. I think this is going to be good though, T. And then you guys, because you love people, you want to put more. Okay, so don't be stingy, because otherwise you're just gonna get high and eat it all yourself later.
So you can make those in advance and then put them in the fridge?
Oh,
For
yeah.
dessert or
Yeah.
appetizer or however you.
Well, I would do this is more of a dessert situation, but you guys, if you added maybe just more oats in here, it's all of a sudden more granola-y breakfast, right? I mean, and if this, again, you know, whatever fruit you like is gonna work, yeah? And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that for breakfast. You got protein, dairy, you got carbs, you got your fruit. And then, of course, because I'm compulsive, I'm not kidding you guys about the green. You got to put green on stuff. I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but when you are serving infused food, make sure you're really clear with people. I had an unfortunate situation a couple months ago. I did a big infused dinner for people, and we had cleared it all ahead of time. They knew all the milligrams and everything like that, but they overdid it and they didn't listen to me, and they had a really good time for a while, and then they didn't have such a good time. So please pay attention to that. And a lot of people think, oh, I smoke a lot of pot, so edibles are great. Totally different situation, as you probably know. So a lot of these edibles are going to be much stronger than people think, even if it's only 5 or 10 milligrams. So be aware when you're doing this. Don't be over medicating people. I felt so bad. These people had to go sit at the park for an hour before they could go home.
Crystal wants to know how long can the ricotta stay in the fridge
Oh,
once you make that?
I would cover it, you know, a little something on top, and 2 days. I think after that, the crunch is gonna go bye-bye. Yeah, and you ain't gonna last that long, you know, you're gonna eat it. But if you are planning on making it ahead of time, I would maybe make the streusel, make sure it's very, very baked. Not that way, but baked, like super baked, right? So it's real crunchy, so it can absorb. Yeah. Okay, do you guys have any more questions?